Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Chris Albert with Warrior Soul Apparel. I'm here with my boy Mike Rashid. One of the things I wanted to do with Warrior Soul, the YouTube channel, and Warrior Soul, the brand, is to teach people how to live better lives and how to live their best lives. And so, what I thought about was, well, I have a lot of friends who are living really good lives and who've gotten themselves into careers where they're helping other people to live good lives. So part of this series is going to be a series on young entrepreneurs, people who are out there making a difference, people who are out there changing their games. And I can't think of a better person to start with than Mike Rashid. Mike is the owner of ImSoAlpha, the supplement line. He's the owner of ImSoAlpha, the brand of clothing. He is a Better Body sponsored athlete. He has been published as a fitness model in Muscle and Fitness and a bunch of other magazines. Right?
A lot overseas.
A lot overseas. Yeah. Rapidly becoming an international figure in the fitness game. And I wanted to bring him to you to kind of talk to you about his story, how he got into what he's doing, about all the different trials and tribulations that led to this point, and basically trying to teach you guys some lessons about life, about work, and about success. So, Mike, you know, the last few years have kind of been a whirlwind for you.
Yeah.
Can you kind of tell us how you got started with ImSoAlpha, how you got started with all your different entities, and basically how you got to this point right now?
First of all, I want to say I'm proud of you for Warrior Soul, getting the shredded, everything that you got going on, because I seen in you, you just hit a plateau in your life. And then you just hit a certain wall. You're like, fuck this, I'm changing my life. And you did it, and it's for the better, and it's good. And, you know, the charitable stuff that you're doing is fucking amazing, and I do nothing but applaud you. You know, when I was watching the Warrior Soul video yesterday, I was like, this is fucking dope. You know what I mean? I really liked it. But about me, like, basically I started, you know, my life has been just crazy. It's been you know, I had a decent childhood, but it was a little rocky at times, you know, and I never once blamed my parents for anything, because me being an adult, dealing with life, I know life is hard sometimes. So, you know, I wasn't very stable growing up, you know what I mean? The most stable period of my life was when I was with my grandparents, and I missed them dearly. So, you know, I would have really good things going, like growing up, like when I was boxing, I was one of the top amateurs in the country, in the world, and like I said, me being such an unstable person at the time, you know, I would quit, start back, quit, and it would mess things up for me. It kind of messed things up for the Olympics, and then got back in it a little older, you know, like 20, and then got down with Mike Tyson and Team Tyson. And once again, I think the commitment, like, that's a huge commitment. Like, boxing is very hard. Like, the training it runs your entire life. And I got to a point to where they were gearing me to turn me pro, and then I got to a point to where, you know what, I wanted to take an easier route, what I thought was easier at the time, and I did that. So it kind of offset the course of that, because I always thought I was going to be a pro boxer. So then, you know, just dealing with life and, you know, college, and had a family, you know, early. And when that fell apart, my life kind of crumbled at the time, you know. So I got to a point, it was like a crossroads where I was like, lay down and die and be a loser. And my kids look at me in disgust, or do something with my life. So I did something with my life. So I wrote out a plan. This is something that you gotta do. You gotta take serious. There's a saying, I don't know who said it, but I heard it from Nas. It says, people don't plan to fail, they fail to plan. So basically, everything is a process, right? So if you or I want $1 million, we can go get $1 million. It's no different than making a sandwich. You hungry, you make a sandwich, what do? You get up, you walk to the kitchen, get your bread out, you go through a process. It's the same thing with becoming successful in whatever you want to do. So, or whatever your goal is. You figure out what that process is, you do your research, you ask people, and then you make a plan, you write it out. I literally wrote my first plan out. This was back in 2000, I think it was 2009 or 10. And the plan was to start, you know, personal training, build up a clientele, solid clientele, learn the business for a year, and then take my clients out the gym and train them independently.
Let's talk about that for a second, because at the point I met you, I remember I was in downtown Long Beach at Max Muscle Long Beach, and I was actually looking for trainers. We had just opened up Metroflex Gym Long Beach, and I was looking for trainers who were going to help to transform this place and to make this place what it is today. And I came across these awesome brochures or cards that you had, and I saw your image there. And at the time, I think you were working for a gym in downtown Long Beach.
Well, I was renting space.
You were renting space at the gym. Yep. And I saw the image, and I was like, wow, all right, this guy is what we need for the gym. I know you worked for Gold's Gym for a little bit. I know you killed it over there, and you were doing absolutely awesome. Kind of talk about your decision going from working for somebody else, where you were making good money over there, but what led you to go over to independent training?
This is the thing. Now I'm gonna give y'all the straight talk. Working for a gym, corporate gym, you don't really make a lot of money. It depends on what you consider a lot of money. I was maxed out. I was making as much as I can at Goals, and I was only making about $4,000 a month. You know, so it's just they take the most that you can make is half of what you charge. And I was working in the Long Beach one, so we didn't charge like in Santa Monica or Venice. They charge $100-something per sessions. At ours, we only charge $65. So I was getting like $30-something bucks. You know what I mean? So, you know, and then tax and, you know, the bonuses are nothing. We didn't get bonuses as trainers. You have to be a manager to get a bonus. So this was my decision. Well, first of all, it was my plan to leave after a year. However,
sorry,
that's
we got
Piper.
a puppy in here.
However, this is the original Metroflex dog, Piper. However, come on up here, Piper. Say hi. Piper LBC. Ain't she gorgeous? We got her. So, it was scary, like, for me, like, you know, it wasn't much money, but I was able to pay my bills, barely. But it was a constant check. I know I was getting a check every 2 weeks. So me, like, deciding to leave was kind of scary. What helped me leave was, honestly, poor management, me not respecting my manager. So I have no problem with subordination. You know, I'll get behind. I have no problem being a soldier. No problem at all. But I got to respect the person. So this particular manager told a lot of lies, you know. So I got promise after promise after promise. They never came through on anything. I was absolutely killing it. I was doing more in sales than the guys at Goals Venice, who charge more. You know what I mean? So then when I decided that, you know, I wanted to put in my 2-week notice, you know, they tried to retain me, and I was like, I already had my mind made up. So then what really bothered me about this corporate gym is they offered me the fitness manager's job in Venice. And prior to this, they liked the guy. So I'm like, wow. So you would just boot this guy out?
So no loyalty whatsoever.
No loyalty. So that was even more confirmation that I needed to leave. So I made my decision and I left. It was scary at first. And then my first month, I made like 10 grand. However, I was charging people how I charge at the gym. So I would charge for big packages. So yeah, I make 10 grand in a month, but then I wouldn't make any money the next 2 months.
So you made 10 grand in your first month of independent personal training.
Right.
Signed big packages, and then
I had to train these people all of their sessions before I got paid again.
Okay.
So it wasn't wise. So so I just started restructuring things and started doing like a monthly payment type deal, and that worked out. So I was renting out space in downtown Long Beach. I was paying way too much money for. It wasn't worth it. I was spending like literally $1,100 a month for a tiny space, and I couldn't even make a lot of noise. They didn't want me to drop stuff. It was just crazy. So David Avila, you know, he and I used to work together, so I would look at him at Metroflex on Facebook. I'm like, I need to go there. So I was working so much, I was always too tired in my downtime to go to Metroflex. So God sent an angel named Chris Albert. And Chris Albert, he called me, and that was like that extra motivation I needed to go ahead and go up there. So I came up here. This is when it first opened. It was none of the cool artwork on the wall that you guys see now. It was just a bare. It wasn't as much equipment. It had the basics, and it was an empty warehouse. I walked in. I was like, they was gonna offer me like I think a free month. I said I didn't even need it. I said I want to come here. I'm sold. I didn't even talk to my clients yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So majority of my clients came over with me. I had some loyal clients because here it is. They changed two locations with me, and most of them came. The ones that didn't come is because it was pretty far from downtown Long Beach, and they wanted to stay right in that little area, which I respect and I understand. But the majority of them came, and I got more clients, and I became pretty successful as a trainer. And I like to tell you guys that as a trainer, it's a great career. It can be a great career. You meet really good people. You're really helping people out. You're changing lives. Okay. However, if you become successful at it, it's very taxing on you. People think you just stand around and count reps. When you really are into it, it's mentally draining. You're giving everything, you know, and not only that, you're helping with form. You're doing the movements with them. You're helping re-rack weights. It's very physically draining. So I would be just wiped out every day. I had no social life. I still don't, and I'm used to it because of when I was training. And like, when I would date a girl, I have nothing to give her because I was just drained from work.
Yeah.
So I was like, something got to change. So my kids would come out all the time, and I would always hire a nanny to watch them and go work. So I got to stop doing that. So what I did one day, one time, they were coming out for a week. I said, all right, everybody, I'm only training from these hours to these hours, like a 3-hour window a time. I said, y'all all want to come and we do semi-private training? Cool. If not, I'm sorry, I can't train you for this week and a half. So incidentally, everybody was able to squeeze into that time, and it worked out great.
Yeah.
And then I found the niche for me. I found that it wasn't group training. Group training and semi-private training is different. It wasn't like a class setting, like everybody do the same thing. See, the beauty of Metroflex is we have a lot of space, and we have a lot of equipment. So say it's leg day, there's like on one wall there's about 5 squat racks, and then we have movable squat racks. So I can have 7 people squatting. So I would, of course, give the most attention to the people that needed it the most.
Yep.
But I'm moving around, and it kept my mind thinking. It was just a lot more fun. It built a lot of camaraderie between my clients, and they loved it. So anyway, I was doing that for a while. I would be knocking out, no lie, like 20, like anywhere from 15 to 20 people in a matter of 3 to 4 hours, and then I'm done. So I was making good money and still having my day to come up here and train and hang out. So then I wanted to, I would take supplements, and I would get sick and nauseous.
Let me stop you there because
Okay.
I wanna get into that too.
Okay.
One day you're here, right?
Right.
And we had photo shoots all the time, things like that.
Right.
And a lot of people send you their pictures, I
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
and ask you what it takes to become a fitness model and stuff like that.
Yep.
And I remember the day we're here one day. There's a photo shoot for, I think it was Muscle and Fitness.
Muscle and Fitness. Yeah.
And the model for the shoot got drunk the night before, and
Didn't show up.
The photographer was running around looking for somebody to actually do the shoot.
Right.
So take it from there. Tell us what happened there.
Basically, the model didn't show up. It was a big shoot. It's on the walls, 1, 2, 3 page spread, and a huge publication, one of the biggest out, and the model didn't show up. So I was already in shape. So he always would talk to me every time they had a shoot and introduce me to people. And
that's the photographer.
The photographer, right? And they gave me the gig. So that was my first published shoot.
Yeah.
And also when my first, shortly after that, I did my first show, and I got my first sponsorship shortly after that. And the sponsors contacted me. This is the thing, like Chris said, people send in pictures all the time. People leave comments like, "I want to be down," etc., etc. That's not the way to do it. Actually, I'm not going to say that. You never know. Somebody might send in something that we think is amazing, but people are watching you. You know what I mean? So I had no idea the owner of Better Bodies was a friend of mine on Facebook, and watching my interaction, and he really liked my influence over people, and so they saw potential. And my social media or my status wasn't as big as it is now back then. But they saw the potential, you know, and they took a chance on me because I was the first person they signed that wasn't a top level IFBB pro. Like they have Branch Warren, Johnny Jackson, Tana Eubanks, Natalia Mello, winners of Olympias and Olympia competitors. So and then they had me, little old me. Yeah. So and then you know and I take everything I do serious, and I was very flattered to be part of the team. So, you know, I'm very proactive in my career. I do everything I'm hands-on with. I shoot a lot of videos, photo shoots, you name it. And all my videos, my training videos, I'm putting Better Body stuff. I'm gonna put their logos in it. I make sure I wear their clothes. Anybody in the video is wearing Better Body stuff, and they liked it a lot. They liked it so much. I mean, the owner would email me like, "Man, I love what you're doing." He would give me that encouragement, and it got to the point to where he doubled my pay halfway through the year, and my first year, and retro paid me for the entire year. I was like, "This is great. I love this company." So,
a couple of things there, and a couple of lessons for people, I think, based off of what you're saying. So, a lot of people are sending their pictures out. A lot of people are on social media. I think the thing that really sets you apart there is that you carried yourself in such a manner that people liked you. Mm-hmm. They respected you.
Right.
You developed a relationship with the photographer prior to actually getting the shoot, and so he knew you were a good go-to guy. So the big thing there is one, reliability.
Right.
Two, consistency, making sure that you're constantly putting out the same thing.
Right.
And three, when you're mentioning social media, I see a lot of people putting out negative things, putting out just putting anything up there. What you did was you stuck to your beliefs. Mm-hmm. You stayed positive on social media, and so somebody noticed what you were doing out there and thought you'd be a good representative for the company.
That's the thing. You're right. That's exactly what. When you get sponsored, you are that company. That person is trusting you. Like if they're not there most of the time, and you are representing that company. So that's. I took it as an honor, you know. So and I'm like, I'll make sure I represent you guys in the best light. You know, another thing. He mentioned that the photographer and I became really cool on a friendly level because I didn't annoy him. I never asked him for a shoot. I never asked him for anything. And people respect that. You know, when you're always asking for this and begging for this, and people, they get turned off by it, you know. So it's not a quality that you want to adapt. You know, persistence is good, but it's got to be done just right. And just you know, stay in shape. You know, have things to offer other than your body, like, you know, ideas, work, you know, post workouts, meal plans, you name it, motivation, whatever it is, but let it be from the heart, let it be authentic. People notice that. People notice that. There's a million people who look amazing, who have abs, who have, you know, great bodies and good looking faces. That's a dime a dozen. You may think you're the hottest person on earth, most ripped, most aesthetic. There's somebody. It's an opinion.
Yeah.
It's an opinion. Yeah. So, you know, set yourself apart, and I did it like I wasn't even thinking about it, and I see Chris doing it. You know, like with blogs, like people love information. It's valuable. It's giving. It's feeding the people. You know what I mean? You want to feed people. You know your stuff, or you should know your stuff. Or if you're in this industry, you should learn your craft. You know what I mean, and qualify yourself to be a leader, to lead people. You know what I mean? If you're not there, if all you have is you're just a picture guy or girl, then you know what you get out of this is going to be very limited. You know, because you don't have the capacity to produce things that are going to be beneficial for people other than to like a picture.
How important was your competition life? How important was competing to you?
Not important. Yeah. Well, I say it was important. I'm not going to say it's not important. It was important for me to get that experience, to have that little bit of piece of credibility. So I can, you know, if I chose to, I can coach people on that, or I've been there, done that. But it didn't help me get anything. So I don't want, people shouldn't get caught up in that.
Yeah. That's one thing I think that back in the day, like when we first started Metroflex, it was like, okay, I'm going to compete in a bunch of NPC shows, and then I'm going to try and get noticed, and then I'm going to try and get my pro card.
Right.
And so what you had was a lot of people years after years trying to get the pro cards and not really doing much with their business life, personal life, and things like that.
They're so focused on the show.
I think the beauty of what you do, and I think you have some haters because of this too, is that you didn't wait for that. Right. You were like, okay, I got the look. I know I'm good. Why don't we just do this now?
You know? Yeah. Because first of all, I'm a call it like this. I love bodybuilding shows. Kinda, I like the shows. I like to see the body. I'm gonna keep it real. I like all of the women categories, bikini, all of it. I'm not a fan of men's physique. I'm not gonna lie. You know, and I got buddies that do men's physique. I'm just not a fan of it, bro. You know, I'm not a fan of it. You know what I mean? But it's the shows are boring. They're boring, man. You sit there hours and hours and hours. Everybody start looking the same. Most of the time, when I go to see somebody, I can't sit through it long enough to see the person that I want to see because it takes so long. So the shows are not that important for your career. You know, if you want to do a show, if you're passionate about doing it, great. But don't let it run your life because, you know, it's a huge taking 12 weeks to really prepare for a show will ruin relationships. It can make you lose a job. It's a lot of things that can come with it. So you gotta have that balance. You gotta be in a good place up here to do it.
Not only that, the money.
And the money is expensive, you know. And you can't just expect people to pay for you. Or I'm gonna get a sponsor to pay for me.
Yeah.
You gotta ask yourself why. What do I offer this person for them to pay for me to compete or to do this or do that? You know, you always gotta be mindful of that. You know, because you may think it's just a company, but it's still coming out of somebody's pocket. You know what I mean? And why do you deserve a sponsorship? You got to ask yourself that. So, like I said, qualify yourself. If you are involved with people, do your best. Like, don't just sit around and be like, oh, I got a sponsor. They're gonna take care of this or take care of that. It doesn't work like that, you know. And if you're getting by like that, it won't last. And you don't want to live your life or your career based off of other people who are taking care of you. You know what I mean? You want to take care of yourself. Anything extra is extra. It's supplemental. It's great. You know. So
Self-reliability, independence,
right,
being able to work on your own, and through that, being able to be your own person.
Be your own
person. Not change your own identity.
And then you can help other people. You can help bring other people up and sponsor people.
Now, so we get to that point. You got the muscle and fitness shoot.
Mm-hmm.
You're making money from training. So you're there. You got money, and you're able to survive.
Mm-hmm.
What brought the idea into your head for ImSoAlpha?
ImSoAlpha. It's funny. I mean, I didn't even come up with ImSoAlpha. I swear, when I got on Instagram and people start hashtagging and all of this stuff, I will post some the shit we doing here, and people will always hashtag that is so alpha, so alpha, so alpha, so alpha. So I'm like, wow, I like that. So I started using it. So then I started working on a supplement, a pre-workout. I wanted to work on like a mood enhancing, energy giving type of supplement, like kind of like a nootropic type of vibe. And I wanted a pre-workout that did not give me a jittery feeling, anxiety, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I told the story a million times, so I started doing that. And I didn't do it with the intentions on making a company. I did it with the intentions of me just taking it and give it to people around the gym or clients or whatever. So I started buying raw materials and just practicing making mixing this with that. I studied. It took a long time. I would quit. I would start back. It took months and months and months, a lot of studying and, getting advice from Chris, because Chris is very knowledgeable about a lot of this stuff. And I came up with a formula that worked, and it was good. So then started talking with a company who...
I remember this guy actually had bags of raw materials hanging around his apartment.
Yeah.
And he felt like down one day,
Yeah.
so he took some caffeine, raw caffeine.
No. It was actually the first prototype.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't measure it properly.
He didn't measure it properly.
I tried to measure it by sight. So I put the amount of caffeine, caffeine anhydrous. You guys got it. It's a difference. Pure as it gets. I put the equivalent to 40 fat burners in one glass of tea.
Yeah. He didn't have a good day after that.
Good 2 days. So it was somewhat of a, I guess you can call it like a coma. I slept for like 2 days, and my equilibrium was off. For like a day, I couldn't walk straight, and it took me about a total of 3 to 4 days to get back to normal. And I'm very lucky because I looked up the reason I know it was 40 fat burners is because you can look up 1 tablespoon of caffeine, like how much that is and how dangerous it is. And it's very dangerous. And I could have had cardiac arrest, died. I could have had psychotic thoughts. There's a lot of things that happen, but I happen to be very resistant to like medication and stuff like that. So I'm all right. So anyway, so I went ahead and invested in a milligram scale, started measuring things right. And then It was good. Yeah.
My main point is this is the guy who built it from scratch. He had an idea in his head. He got the materials. He actually experimented with them to some negative repercussions on himself. But he actually did it. He actually went out, did the research, put everything together, and that's what you eventually saw with the iX3 pre-alpha product that became so popular.
And I think the negative was a positive because I learned from it. You know what I mean? I learned from it, and that's how we always talk about making nothing negative happens, nothing bad happens. So it was just something I needed to learn, and I learned, and I'm happy that I experienced it because I actually have that experience.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not some CEO with a whole lot of money just to bankroll a bunch of supplements and just throw it out to the world. I'm a guy, an athlete like you guys, who like supplements, who like training, and I formulated and made it, tested, guinea pigged it on myself until I got the right stuff. So, yeah.
So you took that formula, marketing. How did you go about marketing stuff?
It's all organic. Yeah. I didn't spend a dime on marketing. I already shot videos, training videos, so I would talk about my products in my videos. I would vlog and tell people the story behind it. It's a good story, and people appreciated it. I think a lot of people appreciate the fact that I'm one of you guys, and I'm not the fat exec who don't train, giving you training supplements. You know what I mean? So people connected to it, and they trust me, and I keep it real. I'm honest, man. I tell people I don't know it all. I try to know as much as I can. When I don't know something, I go to people like Chris and other wise people that know more things that I do in certain fields, and I get advice. I study, I research until I come up with like the things that I need to know to take care of certain stuff. So people just they trust the ethic and what's behind it, and they know it's coming from a pure place. So the marketing really is you guys, like word of mouth. Word of mouth. To me, that's the best form of marketing.
Awesome. And that's a big thing. What I'm noticing now is that marketing through social networks, I think, is the future. I think nowadays, if somebody actually produces a commercial and actually puts it out there, people actually start to look at that a little bit skeptically.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you what it's turning into. Commercials and stuff like that is turning into what soap operas are now.
Yep.
Because soap opera is a fake reality show. Why watch a soap opera when you can watch the Kardashians?
Yeah.
Whether you think it's cool or not, if the Kardashians come on, you're going to be stuck watching it for about a half an episode or maybe the whole thing. I know I do. It's interesting.
Yeah.
It's reality. So, yeah, you're right. Well-produced, these manufactured commercials is becoming a thing of the past. They want to see the raw, real deal.
Yeah.
And y'all deserve that. We all deserve that. We're consumers too. You know what I mean? So, I agree with you totally. That's the future.
Yeah.
Social media.
So, you're in supplements, you're in ebooks now, producing informational products.
Right.
You've got a clothing line coming out too with ImSoAlpha. You just had hats produced.
Right.
So you've got a lot of different eggs in different baskets.
Right.
And I think your ebooks are doing really well, clothing line's doing well, and things like that. Where are you going to take ImSoAlpha next? What direction is the company going to go in?
I want I'm like very passionate about the supplement side. I love it. I want to be, it's stuff that we put in our bodies to enhance us, in a legal way. Always keep it legal. Yeah. So this is all non-banned substances, stuff that's safe for college athletes and all of that. Just want to let y'all know. But you're enhancing yourself in a good way through science, and I think it's fascinating. So I love it. Like the cleanse I keep talking about, I love it. The superfoods, we're putting out products that a lot of people are not doing. You know what I mean? So
that's one thing I've noticed with you is that it's not all muscle head stuff.
Right.
And we've talked about that a million times, just between you and me.
Yep.
You're looking to make people have increased wellness, better lives,
Yep.
better health in general,
Yep. Quality of life.
What was the precipitation for that?
It's great. They're loving it. They appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I would appreciate it if my favorite company was giving me stuff to making me actually healthier and feel better, not just look better. You know what I mean? So, you gotta think. My first product, I wanted something to give me energy without making me feel like crap. You know what I mean? So it's all about feeling good. Like, I'm a very physical person. I do physical work, and a lot of people out there like that. You need to feel good when working and just dealing with your kids and family and everything, you know. So yeah, like it's about total wellness and optimal performance, and that's what I try to provide with the supplements. So what's next is, you know, expanding the company, growing, uh, opening different arms. We got the seed planted. You know, the tree is growing, and there's going to be branches off. You know what I mean? People like yourself, and I'm honored that Chris came on board with me. You know, this is somebody that I would totally trust. With like, all right, bro, this is yours. You know, run with it. You know what I mean? Intelligent and has the people that trust him and follow his works, and and I want to help develop other people like that. You know what I mean? And just grow the company. Just grow the company. You know, that's it. The supplement company. Everything else I love doing too. Fat. You know, I mean, I like to look good. Like people always talk about, oh, he's squatting in jeans, and no, you just stretchy pants, and but people or wear it. You know what I mean? So I like, you ain't gotta wear gym shorts to train. You can wear other things that's still comfortable, and I'm all about comfort. So
Yeah.
So that's it.
That's awesome. One thing with your team and your sponsored athletes, and what I really appreciate is, and one of the reasons why I decided to come on board, aside from you being a good friend of mine, is that with your athletes, you look for initiative. You look for entrepreneurial skills. You don't just look for pretty faces. You don't just, and not that this is a very pretty face at all.
That's gorgeous.
But you look for those types of things.
Right.
What gave you that idea? Because everybody else is, basically just putting guys out there with abs, girls with bikinis.
That's the thing. Everybody's doing the same thing, and I'm new into this industry. I'm not the typical, profile of what you would consider, of this industry. And I do things how I like to do them. And I don't know the rules.
Yeah.
So I just do what feels right.
Yeah.
And it feels right to have intelligent people representing the brand. It feels right to have somebody who can, like a Kim, who can sit down and break down everything in a fat burner, why this stuff is good for you. You know what I mean? It feels right. I don't want to have people, and I tell people all the time, like, look, I'm not interested. If you don't have, I said this in a blog, if your vision doesn't include helping other people, then your vision is too small for ImSoAlpha. We're about, it's like, you see these wins, like we're open, like come all, like I want to help people. Like I'm passionate about helping people. I like to put a smile on. I'm the guy who will tip you $40 for a $20 bill just so you could be like, man, that dude made my day. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
It sounds corny, but I swear that's me. I spend way too much money in valet, tipping people in restaurants and stuff like that. My barber, I give her $80, and I don't got it. Like I'm not balling. But I love her. I love her.
Yeah.
I want to give people a good day. You know what I mean? So, it goes into every aspect of my life, and especially with ImSoAlpha. I want other people around like that, like mine. So.
I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but you're an avid reader. If there's one book you could tell people out there to read, what would it be?
I'm gonna give you two for business. One is Rich Dad Poor Dad. I know it sounds cliche, but part of my business model is based off of that. I don't have this is just the businessman talking. I don't have that $1 billion idea yet. So what do? Get a bunch of $1 million ideas. You know what I mean? Have multiple streams of income, and also The Tipping Point, which is it's a book that I've read about 4 times, and I love it. It talks about you growing like how companies. It gives you a breakdown of all these different companies who didn't have a bunch of money to start up, but they had a good product that came from a good place that people really liked. It caught on, spread by word of mouth, and then you get to a certain point to where it grows by epidemic proportions. Once you hit that certain tipping point, then it's a wrap, and you take over. You know what I mean? And it makes sense because it's not. I'm spending all this money. It's like politicians.
Yeah.
Whoever could spend the most money marketing and shitting on the other guy is going to win. This is like the people. I like this. Yo, check this out. Yo, check this out. And it's spread. That's the realest shit ever, with marketing. And I really believe in it. So The Tipping Point is just an excellent book for me. So those are my 2 favorite in business. And kind of and The Tipping Point, you can kind of apply that to life. And it's a moral message in that. letting people choose who they want. And this is another thing I want to say. Like I tell people all the time, I have friends who are, you know, like I say, top level competitors, IFBB, WBFF, and we sit down and talk. And so many of them are so limited on what they could do because of their managers, and they want to place at shows and this, that, and the third. Listen, I want to say this to you guys. We are at this is 2014. This is the year of, we're in an era of digital media, social media, streaming video. You can make yourself a star. You can make yourself a star. The gatekeepers don't decide who's the stars. The people will choose you as a star. Just put yourself out there.
Yep.
Don't worry about these people. I hear all the time, owners or top level people of organizations, I'll make this person a star if they come compete with me. I've heard it personally. You know what I mean? And it don't work like that, man. It don't work like that. Nobody can make you a star. You make yourself a star. You know what I mean? So, you know, follow what I do, what Chris do, with Big Rob, CT.
Yep.
Put yourself out there, you know? Give the people something meaningful from a good place. If they catch on to it, you golden. That's it.
Big lessons, guys. Taking something, starting from nothing, building it up into something, creating a different world, revolting against the order, the classic order that says that business has to be a bunch of fat guys in suits telling you how to act. This is the future. The future is people like this who have come out of nowhere and built something that's going to change the world. It's www.ImSoAlpha.com. Definitely check out all the products and the clothing. We're going to see Mike Rashid this weekend at the Veterans event here at Metroflex Gym, Long Beach.
Can't wait.
It's going to be absolutely awesome. Hope to see you guys there as well. Mike, thank you so much for doing this.
Thanks for having me, man.
Absolutely.
All right, much success. Peace.
Peace.